And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Let's get there. We're very close. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share because the insanity, it doesn't stop. Let me be very clear about something. The GOP, they had a pretty busy weekend trying to save face with their talking points as the protests continued in both Chicago and Portland this weekend. Now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, he went on and spoke to Maria Bartiromo this morning about how the upcoming No Kings protest this coming Saturday is a part of, get a load of this, a part of Antifa and funded by outside players. No, Sean, no. We are just angry with you and we want to protest. Play the clip.
But again, the No Kings protest, Maria, really frustrating. I mean, this is part of Antifa, paid protesters. It begs the question, who's funding it? But yeah, Democrats want to wait for a big rally of a No Kings protest when the bottom line is, who's running the show in the Senate? Chuck Schumer's not running the show. The No Kings protesters or organizers are running the show. Is AOC threatening a primary against Chuck Schumer? Is she running the show? But you need a strong leader in the Senate to take control and make decisions. And Chuck Schumer's blowing in the breeze. He has no power, no authority because he's given it up to his primary opponent, potentially in AOC, or to the No Kings protester organizers. And it's shameful.
And Secretary.
No, you dingbat. Who's running the Senate? It's John Thune. It's Republican controlled. So AOC and her primary against Chuck Schumer has nothing to do with the No Kings. Now, No Kings obviously must be at the top of today's talking points because Scott Bessent was also on with, Maria Bartiromo this morning talking about, again, the upcoming organized protest. Play the clip.
If in fact they are waiting for this No Kings protest, No Kings means no paychecks and no government. And Maria, I think the dirty secret here for why this has dragged on for so long is the Democratic friends in the mainstream media have been downplaying this shutdown. And this is getting serious. It's starting to affect the real economy. It's starting to affect people's lives.
Yeah. I remember just a couple of days ago, you said it's not going to affect people's lives. And by the way, you could say it as often as you want. This is a Republican White House. This is a Republican Senate. And this is a Republican House of Representatives. This shutdown is owned by the Republicans. Now, in that same vein, George Stephanopoulos asked Vice President Vance if he thinks that Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker committed a crime. Play the clip.
Governor Pritzker is our next guest. President Trump has said that he should be in jail. Do you think Governor Pritzker has committed a crime?
Well, I think Governor Pritzker has certainly failed to keep the people of Illinois safe. And it's interesting to me, Governor Pritzker will talk a lot, I'm sure, about how bad Donald Trump is, about how bad I am, and about how bad the administration is. He is the governor of a state that where its biggest city has murder rates that rival the most violent places in the third world, George. Why is he so mad at Donald Trump for trying to keep Chicagoans safe? He should be mad at the criminals that he has failed to keep at bay. We're trying to help him. And we're trying to help the residents of his biggest city. I wish that he would let us because he certainly isn't doing the job himself.
I asked if you agree with President Trump that Governor Pritzker has committed a crime.
Well, I think that Governor Pritzker has allowed a lot of people to be killed in the city of Chicago and elsewhere, George. I think that it's disgraceful, and I think that he absolutely...
Okay, why not then, George, ask the question this way. Yes or no answer, Mr. Vice President. Did J.B. Pritzker, yes or no, commit a crime? You may think he's the worst governor in the history of this country. That's fine. You're entitled to your position. But simply running off the talking points instead of answering a very simple question, which you know that you cannot, is the problem here. Now, George Stephanopoulos also asks Vance about the situation with Tom Homan and the $50,000 in cash in a brown bag bribe. Play that clip.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. That it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that...
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal to take a payment for doing services? The FBI has not prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing.
Okay. Again, you can't get a straight answer out of this moron simply because by doing so, by being honest to the American people, would end up putting Tom Homan out of a job. That's plain and simple. And I think we all see that crystal clear. And we should expect more, by the way, from our representatives. The guy is caught on an FBI tape. This isn't a tape by some radical left group, Soros-spended group. This is from the FBI, caught him taking cash. Very simple question. Did he keep it? Vance then goes on and continues his word salad and attacks George, right? So what do when you don't want to answer a question? What do you do when you feel pinned against the wall? Attack. Play the clip.
And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You're focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Yeah, that's right. Just cut him off. You know, that's what they should have done. They should have cut the interview off earlier instead of allow him to just keep spewing the lies and the MAGA talking points, because at some point in time, enough has to be enough. Now, Margaret Brennan also spoke to J.D. Vance. This son of a bitch is making the rounds on our dollar, right? And asks him about the Trump administration rescinding some layoffs at CDC with the scientists. Play that clip.
And specifically, when it comes to what's happening within the health sector, CBS did confirm on Saturday that the Trump administration went and rescinded some of the layoffs of hundreds of CDC scientists who were mistakenly laid off on Friday and then told Saturday that's not the case. But some of them were involved with the federal measles response. Some of them were involved with the response on Ebola. How does a mistake like this happen? Did the White House even talk to the CDC?
Well, so two responses to that, Margaret. First of all, I want to assure the American people that the frontline healthcare workers, the people who monitor measles, Ebola, and other infectious diseases, those people are still on the job, and we're trying very hard to figure out how to ensure those people get a paycheck, of course, because we want them to be happy and healthy. We want them to be able to do their jobs well. But the second point, Margaret, is the government shutdown inevitably leads to some chaos. We are figuring out how to take money from some areas and give it to other areas. That chaos is because Schumer and the far left Democrats shut down the government. We have to remember, Margaret, that the vast majority of Republicans and
Yeah, again, you knew that was coming in. Well, Margaret, I appreciate the question, and yes, there is layoffs, and we're not going to take any responsibility because it's Joe Biden's fault. It's Barack Obama's fault. It's Chuck Schumer's fault. It's Democrats' fault. It's everybody's fault except for the people who are in charge, right? I mean, that's the problem. We have our representatives, our elected representatives, who somehow forget that they work for us, turning around and lying to us in order to, again, do what? Achieve some political goal. Now, Margaret Brennan also asks Vance about tax credits. Let's see if he knows anything about this. Play the clip.
Just a quick follow there, though. What is your vision for that healthcare policy? Do you want these tax credits to fade out over time, extend them, and then fade them out? Are you open to making them permanent?
Well, the tax credits go to some people deservedly, and we think the tax credits actually go to a lot of waste and fraud within the insurance industry. So we want to make sure that the tax credits go to the people who need them. We also think that Obamacare gave the health insurance industry a lot of ridiculous regulations that if we cut out, we could give people access to better health care at a lower cost. That's what we're working on. And again, I think there's a lot of agreement, actually, Margaret. That's the crazy thing about this. There's a lot of willingness to negotiate, a lot of willingness to compromise from both the moderate Democrats and certainly from the White House. But if the far left Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, are going to shut down the government and refuse to open up the government unless they get everything they want, that's not a negotiation. That's a hostage taking, and we're not going to reward that kind of behavior from Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Once again, you just can't make this stuff up. The talking points have to all be included in every speech. Now, again, Shady Vance wasn't finished there. No. Making his rounds, he then goes on with Kristen Welker, where he's asked about other potential layoffs. Play that clip.
Few far left senators.
Mr. Vice President, we still have a lot to get to. You are in power, and the administration has begun layoffs of thousands of federal workers. And yet, during the 2019 shutdown under the first Trump administration, which lasted 35 days, no federal workers were laid off. Why are these firings necessary?
Well, I just think it shows the different priorities of Democrats and Republicans in the midst of these shutdowns. You really have to ask yourself, who do we care more about? Federal bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., or low-income women getting the food benefits they deserve, our troops getting the payment they need, flood insurance across the Southeast in the midst of hurricane season?
But laying people off is a priority?
We are going to have to lay off some federal workers. Kristen, if you would let me finish. We have to lay off some federal workers in the midst of this shutdown to preserve the essential benefits for the American people that the government does provide. So we don't want to be in this situation. We don't want to be laying off federal workers, but the Democrats have shut down the government. They have forced us to choose between American citizens and federal bureaucrats. We're choosing the benefits, the critical services that benefit our American citizens.
Again, straight up lying to us. Now, I do want to end with one more clip of Scott Bessent this morning talking about China. He said that farmers overwhelmingly back Trump. Really, Scott? You sure about that? Play the clip.
And look, Maria, yesterday was National Farmers Day. This administration wants to do something for our farmers. China has chosen to decouple on the ag side, which just tells you, the other thing that President Trump and everyone in the cabinet is working on is food security. But the Chinese have unfortunately turned our soybean farmers into pawns. They're trying to manipulate them, and our farmers overwhelmingly back President Trump. They know that he has their back, and we can implement the programs. We want to stabilize the farmers' finances. We want to use the Farm Credit Bureau to give them the credit for next year's plantings, but they want to cater to the radical left. As I call them, the two guys from Brooklyn, the Schumers and Jeffries. They don't care about the farmers. All they care about are their jobs. I read the other day.
Yeah. Again, as I'm sure you're well aware, farmers are not ecstatic with Trump. What did he do? He imposed a massive, massive tariff on China in retaliation. They told our soy farmers, for example, go scratch your ass. We're not buying it from you. Instead, they are now buying all of their soy. I'm talking about billions of pounds worth of soy from Argentina. This, of course, has nothing to do with the Democrats. This is all about the Republicans and tariffs. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.